If you're a company car driver, then the chances are that you've already looked at, or at the very least considered, buying the new Mercedes C-Class. Crowned World Car of the Year in 2015, it's been selling like absolute hotcakes since it was first launched. But is it actually any good to drive? Looks count for an awful lot. Whether you're chauffeuring your nearest and dearest to a beautiful wedding venue like Botley's mansion here, or just pulling up in the executive car park. The C-Class gets things spot on in this department. It's a really desirable thing, and it owes its smart looks to the larger S-Class limousine. So it's got the same long, low bonnet, sporty 2-bar grille, and those large air intakes at the front. This AMG line model really cranks things up a notch in the looks department too, with full LED lights front and rear, an aggressive body kit, 5-spoke 18-inch alloy wheels and lashings of extra chrome trim. But even the sport models look the part. It's only the base SE versions that miss out on the shiniest baubles. The wow factor continues on the inside too. The new C-Class is about as luxurious as compact executive saloons come. All of the switchgear is finished with dense, expensive feeling materials. This wide center console can be finished in piano black, but I prefer it in this bare grain wood trim. And all bar the SE versions come with these figure-hugging, heated, faux leather seats up front. The only point of contention is this large iPad-style tablet display here on the center of the dash. It houses either a 7-inch or 8.4-inch screen, depending on whether you go for the optional Command Online infotainment system. But it really juts out from this wide center console, and some people I think would prefer a retractable design. It's all controlled here through this rotary wheel, which is fairly easy to use and allows you to skip between the different menus and functions. But it's not as intuitive as rival systems in Audis and BMWs. And I have to say, this touchpad style iPhone interface up here at the top, which lets you trace letters and pinch and zoom, is a nice idea in theory, but it's actually a right faff to use when you're trying to drive. The car I'm sitting in now also has plenty of features to get you pulse racing, including this sporty 3-spoke steering wheel, aluminium drilled pedals, and soft LED lighting throughout, which gives it a really classy feel. There's some choice options fitted to this particular car as well, including the brilliant sounding 13-speaker Burmester stereo, this panoramic glass sunroof, and keyless entry and go. That's all included as part of the extensive but fairly expensive Premium Plus package. Cars like this are all about making the driver feel special. You're much less likely to get driven around in the back of one of these than you are in one of its larger siblings like the E or S Class. Having said that, those in the back of the C-Class won't feel too short-changed. As you can see, there's plenty of knee and headroom, even with the panoramic glass roof fitted to this model. But there's just about enough room for 2 adults back here, plenty of storage, and a decent boot behind as well. So if you're buying a car for business use, you're probably going to be more preoccupied with CO2 and MPG than you are with BHP and MPH. But with the C-Class, you can definitely have your cake and eat it. Let me give you a prime example. The car I'm driving here is a C300 BlueTech hybrid. It's a mild hybrid that pairs a 2.1 litre diesel engine with a small electric motor for a combined 228 brake horsepower and 369 pounds-feet of torque. Those are some pretty serious numbers for just a small executive saloon, which means it'll do 0 to 62 miles an hour in just 6.4 seconds, and it also has a top speed of well over 150 miles an hour. Great, you think, but if you also spec the 17-inch alloy wheels, then it will emit just 94 grams per kilometre. That's pretty much better than most other saloons on the market, and it'll also return close to 80 mpg on the official government cycle. The normal diesels are very good as well. They're punchy in gear, and they also return close to class-leading CO2 figures as well. So what's the catch? Well, this 2.1 litre engine, I have to say, is quite old, and it's certainly not the most refined or smooth accelerating diesel power plant out there. Confusingly, there are quite a few different suspension options to choose from, but a good rule of thumb with the C-Class is that the more expensive and sportier version you go for, the lower and the stiffer the springs will become. However, the car we're driving here, that's got the optional air suspension. It comes with an agility select system, so you've got 5 different profiles to choose from, and that means you can make it a very comfortable, relaxing, softly damped motorway cruiser, or tighten everything up for a bit more of a sporty drive. The steering is quick and direct, but it weights up a little bit inconsistently, so its responses aren't always as trustworthy as those you'd get in, say, a Jaguar XE or the class benchmark, the BMW 3 Series. It doesn't have quite as much front-end grip as those cars either, which is a bit of a shame, because these niggles do spoil what's otherwise a very competent and capable motorway cruiser, as long as you do go for that optional Airmatic suspension. The Mercedes C-Class looks the business, and with a practical, high-quality interior and generous equipment, it has most of the important bases covered. With strong, efficient diesel engines, it's also very affordable to run. We wish it was a little more refined and a little more engaging to drive, but it's still one of the best compact executives you can buy.